Hello, everyone. I'm Rusty Dunn. Welcome to what we're calling a special edition, Digging into History. And of course, we can't talk Caterpillar history without my good friend and colleague, Corporate Archives Manager Lee Fosberg. Lee, how are you?
Good to see you again, Rusty.
Well, we are marking the 50th anniversary of what we call the Code here at Caterpillar, perhaps the company's most important document, but a little background on what we're referring to as the Code.
Fresh from the archives collection even, we have the first code here, that was created in 1974.
How did this come about? What were some of the things that were in it? And of course, in the early 70s, Caterpillar is changing, growing. What led to the Code of Conduct being created for the company?
Well, there are a bunch of factors, right? And of course, always, right, regulation would be one of the reasons. But it was really kind of a unique time period, too, in Caterpillar history. It was a time of intense growth. We went over being a $3 billion company at that time. That was a big deal, right? The other thing is we had gone to 50% of our sales were globally, right? So we were really evolving to being this global company that we are today. And actually, we're even in the lobby, right, of what would become the first global headquarters we ever had. And that was around the same time period.
Standing in the original lobby of the original administration building. So at that time, it was Caterpillar Chairman and CEO William Franklin who got to thinking about, as we grow and change, not that anything adverse or bad had happened with the company, but he was reading some things that were happening with others out there.
Well, right. He saw there were other companies that were struggling, right? With certain things that were happening really more on a global scale. And so what his philosophy was, let's get out in front of it, right? Let's be a company that instead of waiting for it to come to us, let's become a leader in it.
So October 1st, 1974, Franklin issues a company-wide memo putting out the first edition in essence.
Yeah.
Was this, it was internal only to Caterpillar, yes?
Yeah, it was internal only, and it really kind of was created at Franklin's direction, but there were two people that really had a critical role in creating this. One was a person called Lee Morgan. Now, Lee Morgan ends up going on to later becoming a Caterpillar chairman, but also a person called Byron DeHaan, who really started corporate affairs at the company and actually, believe it or not, wrote it right down the hall from where we were at. So they were two major players that really put this together. And if you think about it, there was no template of doing this. There were very few companies that had these. So they came about, learned from our experience, put it in writing, and then not just that, it went out to coworkers.
Yeah, it was really our code of ethics formalized in this code of conduct, and externally, pretty soon we started getting requests, as I understand it, from outside companies, academics wanting to get a copy of it. And I think we obliged.
Yeah, well, the first thing is I don't think they really foresaw that, right? And that's why you came up with a printed copy like this. And so they started pointing out there, and they were like, you know what, this is a great idea because people will know what we as a company stand for, but it also shows everyone within the industry we're going to be the leader.
And the beauty of it, it has evolved over time, but in essence, it is the same code of conduct from that first edition, but our values and action, for instance, have been added to it, and really the guiding principles have remained the same.
Well, what's funny is we have a transcript by Byron DeHaan where he talks about this, and he said when they originally wrote it, him and Lee Morgan, they thought it was too long. But they found out like almost a year later, right, there needed to be more, and that's where you started to see these updates.
Well, the 50th anniversary, so what a milestone. It is a document that will continue to guide the company. Stands the test of time in the past, the present, and the future, certainly. Lee, thanks for helping us dig into the history with the code today.
Anytime, Rusty.
And to all of you, thanks for watching as always. Be safe in everything you do. Have a great day.